Hello, everyone. I'm Joe,
This is Alex.
and this is Hungover Politics, the show where no one ever actually gets drunk or hungover, despite our best efforts. And we talk about politics.
Yes.
Today, we're going to be talking about the amazing news in the last couple of weeks, the nomination of Amy Coney Barrett, because it would be ill-advised to call the death of a Supreme Court justice amazing news. That's just good news.
Be ill-advised.
Yeah.
But, also having a political podcast based around getting drunk would probably be considered ill-advised. If we actually ever did get drunk.
I mean, it would be if we were like British. Because the Brits are really mad when Americans get drunk and talk about politics. It's never worked out well for them.
No, it hasn't. And it will continue to not.
Really, are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay. Well, so Justice Ginsburg died as a last-minute gift to the Republican Party before this election.
She just had to do it. She really targeted. She felt bad for all of the infants that she has contributed to their homicides, and she's like, you know what? My last
effort will be to fix this.
My last wish is that Roe v. Wade get repealed and removed.
Well, I mean,
repeal and replace.
You know, honestly, I have just as much evidence that was her last wish, and because we have to honor her last wish, I'm all for it. Let's put Amy Coney Barrett on the court. Oh, sorry, the Notorious ACB.
Yes.
Because every time lefties hear ACB, they get really mad.
They do. They do get really bad, and they quote very old and obscure acronyms to justify. You know what?
Don't even fix it at this point.
I'm not gonna fix it. I'm not gonna fix it. Why would I fix it?
Well, let's see what the most recent tweet for ACB is.
This is called Hungover Politics, and just because I exist day to day, basically drunk, due to the amount of brain damage that I endure.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
So nothing that interesting under ACB. It's just been taken over by bots selling or trying to steal your Bitcoin now. This is the inevitable end of any hashtag from like 2 days ago.
How many Bitcoin do you think I can get from?
That's a great question. How many Bitcoin did you get from Elon Musk?
Look. To be fair, I'm very oxygen deprived. That will be my excuse for every failing from now on.
You know, that's fair.
Very oxygen. It is fair. It is completely fair.
I have to give you that, because like your OSATs were low. You were basically passed out in front of the computer. You couldn't even read, but you were like, I think that says Elon Musk, but it actually said Elton Gusk. And you saw send me Bitcoin and I'll send you like 10,000 Bitcoin. And you're like, this is a perfectly valid argument. And my potato IQ from my 70 OSATs basically made you do the rest.
Yes, that is how I killed all those children, and it was my OSATs.
Yep.
It was my OSATs to why I kamikaze the Federal Reserve. I promise.
Yeah, OSATs combined with a little bit of PCP, they really do the trick.
Yes, you got to combine both of them because, you got to have those airways opened up to peak oxygenation.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So
moving on.
So what do we know about the Notorious ACB other than the fact that she's Catholic, and that's evil?
Yeah. And she's also charismatic, which is possibly the worst combination.
Yeah.
Of characteristics.
neither of us is known to love charismatics or Catholics. So obviously, that would arguably, if we were electing her as like leader of the church, she would be immediately disqualified.
Correct.
But as a Supreme Court justice, she's fine.
Fortunately, we don't have to do that.
Yeah.
Also, it's possible that these different denominations clashing together reacts to each other like the flammable nature of both hydrogen and oxygen. But when we put it together, they put out the flames. And by the flames, I mean the rampant infanticide.
Yeah. Look, she's only responsible for about 30 million dead babies.
Who?
Ginsburg.
Oh, yes.
During her time in SCOTUS, about 30 million babies died. While she was sitting there like Roe was the most important thing ever. I'm so glad that Roe is just going to be over now.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. I think we all are. Yeah, I think the babies probably will be too.
That's far from the end of the issue. I mean, Roe only defederalizes this issue. Then we have to go state by state, changing the laws there to make sure that Roe really is dead for good.
Correct.
I mean, I see no real choice on the matter. Let's see. Real quick, let's talk about some of the other random shit that's happened. So, Project Veritas caught Ilhan Omar buying ballots. Or at least someone who was selling ballots saying that Ilhan Omar was buying them. A former Trump campaign manager is
That's hot. Can I buy
locked up right now?
Can I buy your ballot?
Yeah. He's hospitalized after he was threatening to harm himself in his home.
Oh. Who?
Brad Parscale. I've never heard of him, but it's big news apparently.
Does he have a wager?
Probably. So the biggest news that I see in all of this is the fact that Donald Trump managed to only pay $750 in income taxes.
That's abysmal.
Yeah, I know.
I wish he paid lower.
Yeah, it should be zero.
Should be zero.
Zero is the ideal tax rate.
I paid zero, completely legally. I promise.
Yeah, the left is really mad about this because they see taxes as some kind of moral necessity, and you're only a good person if you pay taxes. As far as I'm concerned,
sounds like a charge.
If you legally pay as little in taxes as you possibly can, that's fine. If you can do it illegally and not get caught, that's fine.
Civil disobedience is a bedrock to civilization. I don't know. Just fuck taxes.
Yeah, just fuck the taxes.
I just want to reiterate. I have paid my taxes. I have not paid my taxes legally. Okay.
Yeah.
I promise. I know I sound sarcastic right now, but I'm actually serious.
I mean, I legally paid negative taxes.
He did pay negative taxes. It was pretty great.
Because the money that I allegedly lost doing Uber was so much that it brought me down to the level where I could claim the earned income tax credit.
I made negative money.
It was wonderful. And look, I would happily get rid of the earned income tax credit. However, if the government's going to hand me money for existing, and because they think that somehow my 10-year-old car depreciated at 57.5 cents a mile, that's not really my problem.
Look, all I have to say is God bless the standard mileage deduction. That's all I have to say. It's the most important thing. Yeah.
I made a decent amount of money, and I owed no taxes on it, and it counted as negative income, which brought the rest of my income lower. Basically, the tax code is wonderful, and should stay exactly as it is, or we could just, get rid of the tax code. But,
right.
If you want people to not abuse the taxes, maybe you shouldn't make it so easy. By the way, pro tip, if you make just a little bit too much money to get the earned income tax credit, may I strongly recommend doing Uber. As long as you have an old car, you will profit. Because doing Uber in a brand new car and like a gas guzzler at that would be retarded. But doing it in an old car that gets, average gas mileage, you'll actually make money on it. And then you'll make more money on the taxes, especially because either way it's going to reduce the amount you owe. And if you can get your income low enough, you can just claim the earned income tax credit, and then you'll get paid. And I don't even know what it was. I think we got like $1,000 or something. But it was just $1,000 tacked onto our return. Which means our effective tax rate was like negative 2% or something. On top of all the money I made on Uber. Basically, do Uber, fuck taxes.
Right. Fuck taxes, get fat stacks of cash.
Yep.
Don't give it to the government.
Yep. Do literally anything you can to not give money to the government.
We cannot build roads. Do you hear me? There will be no roads on my watch.
Yep.
With every breath, I 70% breathe. I swear. No roads.
Yep.
No roads. But yeah, also, Midnight Mitch is the greatest man that we don't deserve, but we have, so yay.
Oh, absolutely. Midnight Mitch is the best Senate Majority Leader in the history of the Republic.
Absolutely.
Also, lefties, can you keep giving him awesome nicknames? I still love Cocaine Mitch. I think it's really appropriate. Because I could see Mitch McConnell doing cocaine. But he's like a classy cocaine guy, you know?
Yeah.
Like he sniffs it off like a solid gold knife in his office. And he just takes small amounts throughout the day.
Yeah.
And then, he snorts his cocaine and then he has a quick, sip of scotch or something.
Correct. Like a man, like a classy man. Like someone who knows who he is on the inside.
Yeah. Well, look, I used to hate McConnell. But over the last few weeks, I've realized that McConnell is fucking brilliant. And has actually been working really hard to make all of this line up the way that it has. And he has basically defeated the Democrats forever.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to expand on that further. Eventually I'll make a video about it or something, but just know Mitch McConnell is actually a great Senate Majority Leader. At least if you're a Republican. If you're a Democrat, you're probably really mad right now.
You shouldn't be mad at him, though. You should be mad at yourself.
Yeah, you should be mad at yourself for having such shitty plans.
It's the only hint that we'll ever give you.
Yep.
You goddamn Confederate.
Yep. Well, speaking of the Confederates, the Democrats are once again, and by once again I mean for the first time ever, threatening to leave the Union if a certain person is elected president.
Yes.
It's never happened.
Yeah.
Oh no. Here's some random... Is this a journo? Oh, it is. It's a fucking journo. How did I know when I saw the blue check mark? So far, Democrats are keeping the SCOTUS fight squarely on healthcare and not taking the GOP bait by going after ACB's religion, lifestyle, etc. So, this person claims to be a journalist. Although, to be fair, it's for Huffington Post. So you can't have too high of expectations.
I can and I will.
Yeah, but
I have very high expectations for the Huffington Post.
Ironically, her newsletter is called Piping Hot Truth.
Oh.
Ooh, that's very unfortunate. So yeah. The Democrats have absolutely taken the bait. I have seen, well, not just the Democrats, the media generally. I know they're still running a headline on Reuters that the religious sect that she is part of is like the inspiration for The Handmaid's Tale, and all I can say is, if only that were true,
Please.
That would be wonderful.
Please.
But unfortunately, it's not true. Her sect was not the one. It was a different charismatic Christian organization that inspired it. They also ran the headline, what was it that my wife showed me? That Amy Coney Barrett said that women should be subservient to their husbands, but then like the first paragraph of the article they say the sect that she's part of thinks that women should be subservient to their husbands. And let me tell you, you can actually be part of a church or a religious movement and not agree with absolutely everything it says.
That's impossible.
Yeah. It's shocking. I mean, just look at how many Catholics are like the Pope is infallible, but also Pope Francis is very fallible.
Unless he's not, unless you're a certain person and you think he's not infallible. I mean, you think he's not fallible. He's actually a great dude, and it's not.
Yeah, Pope Francis is a real Chad.
Yeah, he's a real base.
Not talking to any Catholics I know, by the way. Absolutely not.
No, never.
The papacy is...
I don't know a Catholic.
Yeah, the papacy is the most wonderful thing, and honestly, if it wasn't for the Pope, how would we even Christian correctly?
Yeah, how would we even know how to, pray to, dead people?
Yeah, and how would we know the rules? And I mean all the rules, or know the rules, I mean all the rules that are fake.
How would we know how to exhume the dead body of the supposed saint and then take their blood and then put it in a vial and then parade it around Vatican Square and then rebury and then do a whole ritual and then say, oh, look, he's a canonized saint? How would we ever know how to do that? Fucking weird shit.
Hey, the Catholics aren't weird, they're special.
They're high, okay? In more ways than one.
Yeah.
They're very high church, my dude? Yeah. High church, the church is high, if you know what I mean. It's high on fucking something. It's high on the blood of saints, maybe.
Yeah, look, Amy, I give you 99% of my support, but the 1% of my support has to be taken away because you're Catholic.
Pray to Jesus, please.
Yeah. Well, look, if she could stop praying to Mary for 5 minutes, that might work out.
Yeah.
Don't worry, they don't worship Mary. She's just the mother of God.
I wonder if she thinks that Mary should be subservient to God because Mary's his wife, the Queen of Heaven.
All excellent questions.
I mean, they would never make the argument that Mary should be subservient to God because God is God. But maybe they might make the argument that because they're divinely consecrated together, they're one and the same, that maybe she should be subservient because she just happens to be a woman.
Do the actual Catholics believe that Mary was always a virgin, or is that just an acceptable belief to them?
No, that's what they believe.
The actual Catholics?
Yes.
I know the Orthodox believe that.
Nope, the Catholics believe it too.
Well, what is that called?
Ever Virgin.
Ever Virgin Mary? No, it's called the Perpetual Virginity of Mary.
Oh.
Oh shit! It's one of the 4 Marian dogmas of the Catholic Church.
Marian dogma.
It is held also by the Orthodox Church and by some Lutherans and Anglicans. Again, Luther did not go far enough, and the Anglicans are shit.
The Anglicans are English and therefore flawed fundamentally in their souls.
I just want to read the first line of the second paragraph on Wikipedia. The virgin birth of Jesus is attested in the New Testament, but there is no biblical basis for Mary's perpetual virginity.
Correct.
There's not even a debate. There's just no argument for it. Mariology. God. I mean, unironically, if I were Catholic, that's basically what I believe.
Look, I'm not saying that when Revelations say the number of his name is 666, and when you look at all the Greek words in the New Testament and the values of them, and the only word that pops up as 666 is the word tradition. And I'm definitely not saying that Catholics use the word tradition to justify all their heresies and blasphemies. I am in no way saying that the Catholic Church is Antichrist. What I'm saying is that the Catholic Church is Antichrist. That's what.
Right, right. Let's see.
That's what John really meant. It had nothing to do with fucking Nero. You goddamn larps. That was. I don't understand why people think it was Nero. I mean, John wrote it as like prophetic.
Wait, Mary had no original sin?
No, she
what
couldn't.
The fuck?
Yeah, she could. She can't have original sin.
Yeah.
For reasons. I don't know. Did she sin? Probably not.
So the most important question, I suppose, at that point is, why couldn't Mary have just been the Christ? What if her dad Dave was the?
Don't say the silent.
Well, was the Virgin Father?
Don't say the silent part. No. That's too close. That's too close to the truth.
Oh, let's see. The Four Dogmas. This is what I've always wanted, was to find the Four Dogmas. Mother of God, Immaculate Conception, Perpetual Virginity, and Assumption. So 3 of these are wrong.
I just like that the church schismed over this Mother of God. A bunch of, like, a series of bishops left the church. Gonna split off.
Yeah.
Just because how hard the Catholics push for, hey, she should be called the Mother of God, because she's definitely the Mother of God. She existed before God.
Mm-hmm.
She not only coexisted, but she was there, and then God was there. Really, she's God. They're just saying she's God. I don't know what to say.
Yeah. I mean, really, why do you even need God at this point? Because you just have Mary.
She doesn't have
and Mary seems to be every bit as good and powerful.
She's hot. She's young. She's like 14. Every old man. And Joseph's like 90. So every old man should have a hot 14-year-old. That's all I'm saying. And why? And she didn't sin. And she's just really cool, man. She's the Mother of God, Queen of Heaven. I mean, really, why would we need Christ when we could just simp for a woman?
Right, right, exactly.
Why? Why would we need the incarnation of God when we could just get the literal Mother of God? No incarnate, just the Mother of God.
Oh, wait. Sorry, they're wrong about Immaculate Conception, too, because when they talk about Immaculate Conception, they're talking about how Mary is immaculately conceived. So, they're wrong on 4 of 4 counts. God, I hate
Mary. Did you say, God, I hate Mary?
Yeah. I mean, I don't hate actual Mary. I just hate all the Mary worship. Mary is fine, I guess.
Mary Lord.
Probably a nice enough woman. I don't know.
Well, she's blessed.
Yeah.
I mean, that's in Scripture. That's like the only thing in Scripture. Definitely doesn't call her the Queen of Heaven or anything like that, because that would be heresy, but,
yeah,
you know.
Which basically, at that point, just means she was picked by God.
Correct. She's a really cool character, Mary, but she's not the Mother of God.
Yeah.
Stop it. Stop saying that. You know who you are, who's going to listen to this podcast. Stop saying it. It's not true.
Yeah.
I do love how this went into a theological conversation.
Oh, very rapidly.
How wrong Catholics are. I mean, yeah, it is relevant. It is relevant. Because we have to be somewhat adversarial to the Notorious ACB.
Yeah, look, like I said, she's good on everything except theology.
Yeah, we definitely, we unoriginally stole that from Ginsburg.
Yeah, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's perfectly fine that she's a Catholic. I mean, she'll probably burn in hell, but that's the unfortunate reality of being a Catholic.
Yeah.
But, like, as far as the Constitution goes, or America goes, that's fine. Meanwhile, Ginsburg is hopefully there. With any luck.
So mean. What if she's blessed? What if she's blessed because...
What if she's the blessed virgin?
Ginsburg
returned from the dead. Oh, sorry,
What
Mary never died. Mary just disappeared and went to heaven. No one knows what happened to her. No one knows why either. Just the Pope said so once.
Picked up her house was picked up in the wilderness. Just disappeared. With her in it. Could you imagine being in that house, that rickety old shack, and just being lifted up by the winds of heaven? Just watching the floorboards fall down and you're like thousands of feet. You're like, no! So, look, what if Ginsburg actually loved children so much and was so disgusted with this decrepit, sinful world that she had them all killed before they would ever have to taste suffering, other than being murdered. And she sent them all to heaven, so she will be rewarded. Have you ever considered that, Joe? You bigot. You ever thought of that one, huh?
Okay. Oh, so here's a Forbes article that I just found, talking about how Trump's tax returns could land him in prison.
Oh no.
Mind you, we haven't actually seen his tax returns. We just have what the New York Times says they've seen. Now, I know this is difficult in that an online newspaper definitely wouldn't know how to, upload a PDF to their website. But what I'm saying is, I really want them to upload a PDF to their website. Because I mean, if you're going to release all of this information, why not just release it? Like, actually release it. Now, to be fair, it could be completely faked. Like, what are their sources on this? 4 anonymous sources.
Why do they think he's going to prison?
Okay, so according to reports of what's in the tax returns, those are all caveats that I'm adding in here. A part of the reason why Trump and the Trump Organization were purportedly able to minimize tax payments was by claiming that substantial personal expenses, including Trump's lavish use of multiple residences, personal aircraft, and even hairstyling for his television appearances, should offset income. Now, if those things were part of how he made income, then yes, those are legitimate deductions. Like, it could very easily be argued that his hair is a big part of his brand. Because Trump has had the same hairdo since, like, I don't fucking know, the fucking 80s?
His hair and the confusion it brings.
Yes. The anger that it brings, more importantly.
Yes. The vitriolic rage that it inspires.
Yeah. Well, look, maintaining that perfect mess probably isn't cheap. And if that's part of his brand, then that's a legitimate business expense. Same thing with using multiple residences.
Order from chaos.
And also his use of multiple residences. Is he claiming like the existence of the properties, or is he claiming the taxes on those properties and the upkeep on those properties, which again are perfectly valid deductions? Personal aircraft, again, those are expenses, and is he using them for business? Because if he's using them for business, then those are valid deductions.
Also, if the federal government wants to think that he's using it for business, that's...
Yeah. Well, look,
fine.
If we started making money off of YouTube, we could theoretically claim the studio on our taxes as a business expense. Like a portion of our rent. Whatever portion would be equivalent to like the square footage of this room would be a valid deduction on our taxes, because this room is used for business. Like we could claim parts of our cable bill. We could claim our phone bills. There are all kinds of deductions that you can claim for anything that you use for business.
Yes, they look. They really try to help you out when it comes to taxes. Now, it would be preferred if they just didn't have the taxes.
Yeah, or if they dramatically slashed the tax rates overall and then got rid of the deductions. Either way.
I still like the deductions. I would rather them cut taxes, keep the deductions slowly until there are no taxes left.
Yeah. Well, look, the deductions are easy to abuse.
Sure, whatever, but like abuse and also taxes.
Well, look, the thing is, if we cut taxes low enough, then it would make more sense to just pay the tax than it would be to pay someone to, hire a tax accountant to handpick the best deductions for you.
Okay, but you're talking about like 1%.
Yeah.
2%.
Well, yeah, no, I'm not saying like 20% here. I'm saying slash it down to like 5% or less.
No, less than 5%.
Yeah.
4%.
Let's see.
4.9%. The average GPA in America. That will be the percent. Average. Three. Perfect. 3%. It'll be named after the militia, who has been now vindicated.
Yeah, retroactively.
Retroactively.
I apologize to the 3%ers. You were actually right about Breonna Taylor.
Yes.
So you have been retroactively vindicated on your cuckery.
And the Not Fucking Around Coalition. Shame on you.
Yeah.
Retroactively.
Yeah. Yeah, you're still fine, but trigger control. That's important.
Why?
Don't shoot.
Oh, wait.
Because they accidentally, 3 of them accidentally shot each other. Look, they're a new militia. They haven't owned guns very long. They don't know the basic safety rules. But,
Death?
No, in the foot and the leg, stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
Fairly minor injuries. But,
Right.
So Not Fucking Around Coalition. You were wrong on this one. But, learn some trigger discipline. Learn some basic gun safety. And keep doing what you're doing. You're fine. Let's see. Yeah, see, I don't see any actual, crimes here.
Yeah, no.
Okay, they keep saying, if these tax returns come back fraudulent. Well, look, the IRS has been auditing the man for God knows how long. If they were technically illegal, I can't imagine they would still be auditing him. He'd probably be in jail by now. No,
correct.
Look, maybe the IRS just wants to get the maximum prison time out of the man. Or maybe Trump hired a very competent tax accountant who could sell basically anything as a valid deduction. And given how much money the man has, I'm going to say it's probably the latter. Could you sell all these things as deductions? Not necessarily. Could a very competent accountant make them at least look like legitimate deductions? Probably.
Correct. And that's his fiduciary responsibility. To save Trump as much money as possible.
Oh no.
Oh,
New York City has a surge in COVID. But you were over the hill. You weren't over the hill, you were over the mountain.
We are still in the first wave.
We have to stop the virus.
We climbed this mountain, and now we're down the other side. I believe that was Mr. Andrew Cuomo himself.
Work so hard. So far. In the end.
Now I'm thinking of that PS5 parody of that.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I will send this to you because it's great.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Can I record it onto the podcast? I think I can. Let's see if this is still set up right. Nope. Damn. That records as your audio. Man, I had this really complicated setup. Let's see. What else is in the news? Liberal women's groups slam Amy Coney Barrett, claim she will turn back the clock on equality. Look, I'm just waiting for the hearings to start, because the Kavanaugh hearings did not do the Democrats any favors. And these won't either.
Basado.
There is a man covered in tattoos, and who has turned his eyes black, and he's mad that he can no longer be a kindergarten teacher. Now, Alex, I want you to look at this and tell me this man should be teaching anyone's children.
Send it.
I did. Look at the podcast channel.
Oh, you're singing in podcasts? Oh, I forget.
Oh shit.
What the fuck? Dude, that's the only thing that happened to him is he was kicked out of teaching kindergarten?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Look, just imagine being the principal and explaining that to parents. Like, yes, that really is your kindergarten teacher.
It's okay, I promise.
Yeah. Let's see. Kent and Kalamazoo counties are now orange for COVID. And 4 counties in the UP are red. Let's see, what else do we have? Wait, what the fuck? Google is both moving in the right and wrong direction on the App Store. Google said it will enforce rules that require app developers distributing Android software on the Google Play Store to use its in-app pay system.
Wait, what?
Yeah, so they're forcing people using the Google Play Store to use their payment system. However, they said that, which that rule already existed, they're just now going to enforce it. But they also said that it's going to be easier to install third-party app stores.
What? What? Okay.
Yeah. So basically, they'll make it easier to compete with Google, but they're going to more strictly enforce their fees. Let's see, what else do we have? Sticky Widgets lets you put a virtual post-it note on your iPhone home screen. Holy shit. We have officially hit Windows Vista. I missed that feature. I wish Microsoft wouldn't have removed it.
A sticky note?
Yeah. I used those all the time back in the day. And in fact, they have an app that does kind of the same thing. But like it's an actual window instead of a widget.
Right.
And the reason that they removed the widget is because they said there was some massive security flaw with it. And they were just like, it doesn't get enough use. We're not going to fix it. We're just going to remove it. It was very unfortunate because I really did enjoy that feature.
Look at my widgets, I just feel bad for Apple users.
What?
Or specifically for iPhone users.
Yeah.
Because I have my notes here.
Yeah.
But just like the Notes app, I can just make notes.
Yeah, yeah.
Put a sticky. To access my files. Has a widget.
Oh wow, they actually are allowing third-party widgets.
Has a widget. Yes.
Holy
But
shit.
they all have to conform to the size Decide.
Yeah. What is it? 2x2 or 2x4?
Yep. Not 4x2 because that would be insane.
Yeah. No. I understand why that wouldn't be allowed. It's not like phones are vertical devices.
No, that would be silly. Absolutely crazy.
SpaceX's Starlink mission has been delayed.
That's really unfortunate.
Here's how astronauts vote from space. Oh, well, I would assume they drop the ballots directly into the river.
You mean into the atmosphere where they'll conveniently burn up? They burn up on re-entry.
I mean, would they even burn up on re-entry?
I mean, if they made it a paper airplane, probably not. Can you do that?
I mean, I just feel like paper has so little resistance to its change in speed that it would hit the atmosphere and just pretty much instantly drop down to terminal velocity.
Look. Is it possible? Now I want to know. Is it possible to shoot a paper airplane from the ISS?
Right.
And have it land on the Earth?
I could definitely think of a way to make it happen.
So, that'd be based. And can we do it?
I mean, look, it would require a lot of fuel and a big engine. I mean, not really. It's pretty small. So,
paper
a lot of fuel and a small engine.
Paper airplane.
Yeah.
Paper airplane.
Well, no, but like you strap it onto the front of an engine and a fuel tank.
Oh.
And you just like push it. Because all you have to do is push it backwards. And eventually it will be going slow enough that it will just fall into the Earth. I mean, that's how the space shuttle already comes down. But if we could bring it down so that its like relative movement was 0, it should just fall straight down. At terminal velocity, which is not fast enough to cause it to produce plasma under the wings.
Just looks like, to make one look like the space shuttle, you can see it. It's heating red on the it even starts to burn a little bit.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the space shuttle just slows down enough to start skipping into the atmosphere. I want to slow it down to like 0. It wouldn't even have to be 0, it just have to be very slow. But if it wasn't orbiting at a very high velocity, then,
I want to do it like without the engine.
Then no.
Well, okay. No, but I think you could. I think you could just let it go from the space station, and it would eventually lose the velocity. The space station has to make minor corrections to keep itself in orbit.
But in that case, I mean, we're probably talking about that paper airplane would be destroyed by the sun.
Never.
Before it would fall into the atmosphere.
How dare you say such things?
I mean, by the nature of being a paper airplane, it's got fairly little drag. It actually produces a lot of lift. Which means it wouldn't... Because the ISS is basically a giant brick in space, and just the little bit of atmosphere that actually does exist up there slows it down just a tiny bit and causes it to lose altitude. But a paper airplane wouldn't produce nearly enough drag for that to happen in any meaningful timescale.
Make it a cone. A compact cone. Okay, what if you put it in a cardboard tube that was weighted?
The weight doesn't really matter too much. Drag is pretty much exclusively a function of surface area.
I just... Can we launch a paper airplane into space? If we can't do the other thing...
Just so we can test all this?
Cast our ballots into the sun. What?
Pfizer urged to hold off on coronavirus vaccine until late November. Why?
Late November? Because that's after the election.
Wait, they're waiting for late November just to submit it to the FDA. Look, see, Pfizer thinks they can get this in by the end of October.
right before the election.
Yeah.
Convenient.
Well, I mean, the vaccine wouldn't even be released by then. The vaccine would just be, like, approved, and then they have to manufacture, like, 1 billion doses.
Correct.
So, like, no one will be getting the vaccine before the election regardless. But, like, the news of the vaccine being ready would be too much.
Yep.
Well, what was the other vaccine that got delayed because it was causing, like, mental health issues? Is that, like, the French vaccine or something?
Who knows?
Yeah. To be fair, I don't even know if that's true because it was from, like, the Daily Mail or something.
Huh.
Not a super reliable source.
No.
I mean, I did find evidence that the vaccine was pulled, but I couldn't find anyone saying that that was why. But yeah, Pfizer's vaccine is pretty promising. The only problem with Pfizer's vaccine is it's basically impossible to distribute. Because as it sits, they expect to have to transport and, like, hold on to the vaccine at, like, negative 98 degrees. And, like, there's very little infrastructure to do that. Which means they're developing, like, special boxes that would allow them to do it. But those boxes basically just use, like, what is it? Liquid nitrogen or something?
What boxes?
Yeah, it's like basically a refrigerated box that would hold like 10,000 doses. Or like 1,000 doses, I can't remember. No, I think it was 10,000. Just because there's no infrastructure available to transport things at negative 98 degrees. It would take years to distribute that vaccine worldwide.
Yeah.
So they're like, what if we built a box so that it could be transported on, like, any truck? And that way we can, speed this up a lot.
Yeah.
Age of Empires 3 got a definitive edition. That's terrible.
Random.
Wait, let's see. Oh. Really?
What happened?
Okay, so the theme of Age of Empires 3 is, like, European settling of North America.
Okay.
And basically, the developers of Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition kind of cucked out a bit and changed the story, because it's not so popular to romanticize European settlers anymore. I don't know what exactly they did. It seems like they didn't change too much. But they did try to de-romanticize it a little bit. This guy, Alistair Jones. I feel like I know that name. He's definitely a game journal. That's all I need to say, really. So yeah, basically he's really mad that at one point in time, where is it? As the definitive edition's opening cutscene rolled by, scenes of British redcoats backed by lines like "Destined to Conquer" had me squirming uncomfortably. like he's one of those guys. It's pretty clear.
Yeah, destined to conquer and the destined to lose everything that you conquered. Good job. Good job, Brits. You're gonna lose Canada soon, Brits.
Oh, I fucking hope.
Oh. It's my one life wish before I die. I want to see Canada in American hands. In America's loving embrace.
All right. Well, with that information, I think it's probably time to go.
Okay.